It's Wednesday, September 30th, 2020. I'm Greg Nibbler, and this is Digital Trends Live. All right, hello everyone. This is Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. We broadcast live here every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, bringing you trending tech headlines, news, interviews, discussions, and more. Let's get started with some news right now. There have been a lot of hardware events as of late from tech companies, but today is Google's turn as they unveiled the Pixel 5 and maybe a little more. Traditionally, the annual Google Pixel phone event is in mid-October, so this is slightly ahead of schedule, and we think we've already seen quite a bit of what's in store for the Pixel 5. Some of the biggest upgrades we expect are an edge-to-edge display, a 90 Hz refresh rate, and most likely a hole punch camera in the front. What we don't know is whether or not there will be a fingerprint scanner or what exact processor it will be using. And given that the cameras and image processing software that goes with them are Google's bread and butter when it comes to phones, expect there to be a big presentation around them and maybe even augmented reality. For the other hardware, we also got a little bit of a leak with Walmart already listing a new Nest audio speaker on their website earlier this week and apparently having it out on shelves per a Twitter post. So we're expecting the new Nest speaker to have improved sound and possibly to even be portable based upon the insinuation of a teaser video Google released earlier this year. There will also be a new Chromecast, which again was apparently already on sale at Home Depot. So the new one should have Android TV already built in, which should make for an improved experience over the current format. Despite all of the leaks and products already on sale, there could still be some surprises as well. We'll be streaming the event live here on whatever platform you are watching me on currently, so join us as we analyze and watch the entire event together. Read more about all of the products and latest announcements at digitaltrends.com. Facebook has had a plan in the works for a while to integrate the cross-functionality of their three apps, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and today they've announced that the transition has begun. Instagram users will notice the biggest differences at first, particularly when it comes to communication. So the update will now allow Facebook Messenger users to direct message people on Instagram and vice versa. So the two users do not need to be on each platform in order for that to happen. In fact, Facebook said it's not merging the DM functionality and Messenger app, but allows them to reach across the virtual space between them. One big concern of this is over privacy and whether or not random people or people who have been blocked will now have another avenue to reach someone. Another concern is over the fact that some people may use both apps but do not want their Instagram handle tied to their actual name on Facebook. So these concerns appear to be being addressed by the ability to turn off cross-functionality as an option. Other updates for Instagram users will come in the form of watch party options, selfie stickers, customized chat colors and emojis, and a new vanish mode, which would have messages disappear after being viewed or after closing a chat. The first phase of the rollout has begun in a few countries around the world with expansion to everyone in the next few months. Eventually, this cross-platform operability will also bring in WhatsApp. There's a lot of details to this, so please read them all at digitaltrends.com. Amazon has launched a new virtual tour and virtual experience platform called Explore. In the age of a pandemic where travel is severely limited, the service offers a variety of different things from across the globe. It's organized to search for experiences by category or region, and the prices vary greatly. Experiences by category are divided into learning and creativity, local shopping, and culture and landmarks. So for learning and creativity, there's everything from learning Cantonese to baking bread with a TV chef in Montreal. That's $125, to visiting a tropical woodworking gallery. The local shopping section appears to allow you to virtually visit local shops of cities all over the world, with such offerings as Old Town Ljubljana, or buying cookingware in Kitchen Town in Tokyo, or going skateboarding with some dude on Manly Beach in Australia. And there's the tour side of things, which offers virtual tours based on continent and region. It's all hosted by local experts who run their experiences through Amazon's platform, and each session is set up as a one-on-one interaction. So it's one-way video and two-way audio, so you can communicate with the host in real time. The prices, as I said, vary wildly for the 30 to 60-minute sessions, and it's currently only available in the US and on an invitation-only basis, which you can apply for. Read more about it at digitaltrends.com. A rescue service in the UK is testing out the use of jetpacks for emergency responders. The Great North Air Ambulance Service has partnered with Gravity Industries to test them out. And the idea is that the use of jetpacks could drastically cut down on the time it takes for a paramedic to reach a remote location, such as on a mountaintop, which is why they're testing it out in the Lake District, which is a national park in northwest England. Gravity Industries was launched in March of 2017 and has tested out flights all over the world. The jetpacks themselves have two mini engines on each arm for directional steering, can fly for about 10 minutes each, and reach speeds of 85 miles per hour. but even though it's limited to 10 minutes, it could cut off a lot of the time it takes to actually get to where someone is in need of help. One example they gave in the test run was of reaching a remote location in 90 seconds versus the 30 minutes it would have taken to actually hike into where the help was needed. The suit can also reach a height of 12,000 feet, so it could really go about anywhere. For now, they're just in the testing phase, but if successful, we could start to see more and more jetpack paramedics. Read more about them at digitaltrends.com. Continuing on here with Digital Trends Live, there's a new series debuting on Netflix on October 1st called Oktoberfest Beer and Blood, which on the title alone is enough that I'm 100% going to be watching that. But on top of that, it's based off of a true story. Joining us after the break is the creator and producer of this new series, so Alexis von Wittgenstein will be here with us, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibler. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. The new series, Oktoberfest Beer and Blood, debuts on Netflix on October 1st, and the name alone is awesome. But on top of that, it's based on a true story. And joining us now is the creator and producer of this new series. We have Alexis von Wittgenstein. Alexis, thanks so much for being here with us.
Hi, Greg. Thank you. I'm glad to be with you today.
This name alone is already fascinating, but I want to know more about what this is exactly about because it's based upon a true story. Tell us about how you found out about this story and give us just a little bit of a synopsis of what it is that we're getting into with this.
All right. Okay. So our show Oktoberfest Beer and Blood is set in the year 1900 in Munich, the capital of Bavaria. And it's the story about an outsider, Kurt Prank, who came to the city and bullied his way to the Munich beer aristocracy by building up a huge beer tent in a dimension that has never been there before. And he reaches this by bribing and blackmailing the local brewers. And yeah, this is actually really based on a true story. The guy who did this was called Georg Lang, and he kind of revolutionized the Oktoberfest and made it to the money machine that it still is today.
Is this a history that a lot of Germans know about already, or is this kind of new for everybody?
No, I think it was kind of new for everybody. I mean, it was still there, but it was not like part of the official Munich Oktoberfest narration because it is connected to like criminal, or let's say not at least not completely correct actions. But I think it's a new thing to discover for me. As I was born and raised in Munich, and the Oktoberfest is part of my DNA. I didn't know about this before, and I just found out actually by chance, and we thought, well, that's kind of a story worth telling.
Definitely is. Well, and talking about doing something that's a historical drama, based on something that actually happened. How do you go about doing the research? Were you able to contact any of the relatives, or what's your main source material for it?
Yeah, well, luckily there is a lot of people who do research about Oktoberfest history. It's like a big thing in Munich. The Oktoberfest exists for more than 200 years now. And there were some experts we could ask about. And the fascinating thing is that Munich in the year 1900 was really kind of an important city in the world, because there was aside from all the beer brewery stuff, there was a big bohemian scene in Munich. For instance, Kandinsky invented the abstract paintings there. Albert Einstein was earning his first pocket money by helping out his father by installing electric lights to the Oktoberfest tents. And it was really like a city that was kind of in the ahead of its times.
Well, and again, with the history of it, and just as you mentioned, so many different things that are kind of all coalescing in this, around this kind of area where all this was happening. Looking at it now, and here we are, in the time of pandemic, I guess, to ask you, how is Oktoberfest being handled right now, and how is that kind of, I guess, how's it being handled right now? How's Oktoberfest being handled?
Yeah, well, it's sad because the Oktoberfest got cancelled this year, and which is a sad thing, of course, for everybody who wants to go there, and also for those who are working there, because it's a big loss of money also for the town. It was a decision that was made pretty early in the pandemic, when the pandemic started. And I think it was a necessary decision. Of course, we as filmmakers, we thought it would have been nice to start it parallelly to our show, to the existing Oktoberfest. And well, now we just hope that we can contribute to everybody who is at home some entertainment to not to get too bored.
Well, it's definitely interesting, and just where you're going with this. I got to ask you, now that this one is out, and I know you've worked on a number of other films, of course, is there anything in the pipeline for the future that you want to explore that's kind of along these lines?
Well, we are hoping for a second season. That depends on how it will start today in Netflix. We've got quite good numbers in Germany, and besides that, we are preparing a movie about Boris Becker, the German tennis wunderkind.
Yeah.
And also we're working on a couple of other series, but it's not so much to be announced yet.
Fair enough. Well, Oktoberfest Beer and Blood is going to be on Netflix on October 1st here in the U.S., where everybody can go watch it. I will definitely be watching it, and I already hope there's a second season because, like I said, the name of the story alone, I'm fascinated by it. And Alexis, thank you so much for joining us here to talk about this too. Congratulations on the success, and looking forward to what's next.
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation.
There we go. So talking about Oktoberfest Beer and Blood, that is fascinating. So that is something that you can check out on Netflix on October 1st. All right, continuing on here, we're going to take a quick break, but Discovery Season 3, yes, Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is coming up. We've got one of the stars of the new season. He's going to join us next. Stick around, back in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and again, thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. We broadcast live here every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, so hit that subscribe button and join the show. Star Trek Discovery has been a huge hit, not only for CBS, but also for Star Trek fans everywhere, and Season 3 returns on October 15th. And joining us now is one of the stars of the new season who will be playing Cleveland Booker. We have David Ajala here. David, thanks so much for being here with us.
Greg, greetings. You know, during the commercial break, there was some music playing, and I'm still enjoying that vibe. I'm just a little gutted that they cut the music, but still good.
Well, I'll hook you up with the cut of that one, so we can get that over to you. David, I have just so many questions to ask you because you're entering into this Star Trek world, which is huge. But to get some context, I know Star Trek fans everywhere. Minor spoiler if you haven't caught up, which you should catch up. You know, Season 3 kind of takes place in a different timeline, some of the same characters. I want to know about Cleveland Booker. What can you tell us about this character you're playing?
Well, I think what was most exciting about joining this wonderful, wonderful franchise is being gifted with a character like Cleveland Booker. He is a completely new energy that's going to be literally injected into this new world. We're 1,000 years into the future. And for fans of the franchise and new fans of the show, Cleveland Booker is literally going to be your eyes into this new, wonderful, wonderful, special, sometimes scary, futuristic world. I don't want to say too much about the characters. I don't want to spoil it. But he's on a very personal mission, and he likes to break the rules every now and then.
Nice. Well, look, going from there, and again, yeah, we don't want to spoil anything, but talking about it for you personally, you know, you've been involved in a number of different franchises, actually. I mean, with the DC television universe that they've got going, and that's a huge thing to step into. But Star Trek, for Star Trek fans, I mean, this is a big deal getting into that world. What was it like getting cast into this, and what's it been like so far, kind of entering into this Star Trek fandom?
Wow, Greg, you're scaring me. And it was big. No pressure. Do you know what? It's so special to join a franchise that has such a wonderful historical legacy in popular culture, and to go from the enormity of that to being on set and just working with such a wonderful, wonderful, gifted bunch of actors and crew has just been an absolute blessing. But I have to say, it kind of sunk in for me a little more when I was on set of The Bridge. I think that's when it sunk in, because the Bridge is so wonderfully made. I mean, the craftsmanship on that set is fantastic. Literally everything is there. You can touch and feel everything, and it's a lot bigger than I thought. I'm just really excited for everyone to see the new season, because we've boldly done some very special things.
Well, and even watching the trailer, you can tell how beautiful it is, even the shots, you know, that they're showcasing in that. So, yeah, I can only imagine how great that's going to be. But going for you, you know, talking about being on the set, you know, and in this, and you're playing, obviously, you know, it's a role, you're pretending to be in the future, but looking at the kind of technology that's utilized, was there anything that is in this new season that you wish you had tech-wise right now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I have to say it's the weaponry, especially in the first episode. I'm very careful about not giving anything away because I don't want to spoil it, because it's so fresh. Like, literally, it's futuristic fresh. That's what it is, Greg. There's a very special gun that Cleveland Booker manages to disarm off of an enemy and uses it against them. This gun is small, but it's really powerful. And the word to describe it is a Swahili word. It's talawa. It means small but mighty.
Nice. Okay, that's not too much of a spoiler. I think that's fair. Looking back across the Star Trek genre, something that probably you'll get asked a lot, I would guess, from now on. Other than the season you're in, what is your favorite Star Trek iteration that's already happened?
Oh, I mean, I won't say the favorite, but one of The Next Generation. That was my point into this franchise. For sure. Yeah,
The Next Generation, definitely. Is there any character from a past Star Trek that you would like your character to interact with?
Yeah. Jean-Luc Picard.
But you're not going to say who?
Picard? I said it. Picard. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. That's totally understandable.
I'm Riker.
That's a great answer to that question. All right, so for this new season, what would you like everybody to take away from season 3 of Star Trek Discovery?
I think, one thing that's really special about Star Trek is how effective it is with its social commentary on issues which are happening in the world which affect many, many people. I think Star Trek has always been at the forefront of normalizing diversity and combining that with social commentary. There are some things which have happened in this world this year during this pandemic that, unbeknown to ourselves, strike very strong parallels to season 3, and it's quite profound when I think about it. So I'm really looking forward to people, hopefully with open hearts, embracing this new season as necessary art in the form of science fiction.
That's a great answer, and you're 100% right. With Star Trek, I mean, it always has been kind of at the forefront of that and really breaking ground in a lot of ways with that, and it sounds like that's what you're doing again this season as far as reflecting what's going on. And David, congratulations on being a part of it.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate that. Thank you. It's a wonderful thing. I'm blessed.
And I want to remind everybody too, so season 3 comes out October 15th. David has not spoiled anything, but it's enough of a teaser to make you want to go see it even already. So go see what Cleveland Booker's going to be up to. David, thanks so much for being here on Digital Trends Live with us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
David Ajala right here. Season 3, Star Trek Discovery. That is huge, getting into that Star Trek franchise. And clearly, David is up to the task. So watch that. It's on CBS October 15th. All right, we need to take a break. Coming up next, we've got TBD. What's it going to be about? Well, Jess is going to let us know. Stick around, back here in a minute with more Digital Trends Live. And welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. We broadcast live every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And coming up today, we've got our Google event. We'll be live streaming that too, so hit subscribe right now. But it is Wednesday, which means it's time for TBD. What's it about? Well, one of our hosts is gone today, Adrian Warner, but we've got Jess Surbaugh here to talk about that. Jess, hello.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
I am doing well, and yes, Adrian out on vacation, but Jess, I know we have important updates to talk about today. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but maybe you can fill us in on what we're talking about here.
Absolutely, Greg. So, first of all, I know from my heart that Adrian is very sad to be missing this particular one because today we are talking about Fat Bear Week. We're starting
Yes.
today with Fat Bear Week. Greg? Are you planning to watch Fat Bear Week?
I am 100% planning to watch. I think we all need something as awesome as Fat Bear Week right now because there's too many other things I don't want to watch. So yes, Fat Bear Week 100%.
Absolutely. So let me tell you all about it, Greg. So we made it. It's officially here. It's basically the March Madness of fat bears. We actually talked about this back in June, which I will kind of recap for us. But Fat Big Bear Week runs from today, September 30th, through next week, October 6th. It's a bracket style single elimination competition. And you can actually print your own bracket. I think we actually have that. I think everyone needs to take a look. If we do, there it is.
Yes.
So you can actually
Nice.
you can select your bear. You can follow along as they continue on. I mean, I think I see your man Otis there, Greg, too. Isn't Otis your boy?
Otis is my favorite, definitely.
So there's an actual list of all the bears that you can kind of, get their stories, their histories. They follow along. This has been going on actually since 2014. So there's histories on these bears. I'm pretty sure I'm pulling for bear 747. He's the largest bear on the river, but he's never actually won. And I am a big underdog fan, so I will be going with that. We talked about him last time too. I really feel his saga. I think, yep, here we go. We can see 747 here. Explore.org actually tweeted in mid-August, we're not here to sway your vote, but consider the facts. It's only August, and 747's rotund butt is already on the struggle bus. So it's basically
I'm saying that's tampering, but okay.
Yeah, you're like, wait, justice for Otis. He's basically just trying to get up a riverbank, guys. So clearly, this was a successful Fat Bear Week. So little recap, we're all watching this go down live on cameras at Katmai National Park and Preserve in southwestern Alaska. Bears start to try to trickle in and appear in July, like post hibernation. We saw them kind of creep in June as they come in to feed on the salmon in the river. They enter a medical stage known as hyperphagia, which is basically when leptin, a chemical in the body, tells it it's full. So basically it's suppressed during this time, which lets bears just eat and eat and eat until they go back to sleep. Some can eat dozens of sockeye a day, with each salmon packing about 4,500 calories. One bear was spotted eating 40 salmon, so that's roughly like 180,000 calories. So they're definitely not messing around. What's really interesting to me, I think, is when we talked about this back in June, we kind of talked about would COVID affect this at all, right? Because, it's an incredibly remote area we're talking about. And since there would likely be less travel, reduced noise, we wondered if that could have an impact on the behavior of them. And since some bears avoid people, was there a chance that not having people would, have new bears come in that hadn't tried to kind of breed to the area before? So first of all, there were COVID cases in the resort, which is really interesting among some of the park rangers. And then, according to Anchorage Daily News, the Katmai media ranger Naomi Boak said that with the late opening, plus the lodge at half capacity and fewer visitors, that the dynamics on the river did actually change. So, it was true. Though it's not clear whether a smaller number of visitors was the actual reason the bears acted differently. They didn't act different, so we have to wonder, right? They said that the bears had more freedom and access to the river, which made them less territorial. And family groups also played with other cubs, which is essentially unheard of behavior with these bears. And the season salmon run also broke records, while the Brooks River saw roughly 800,000 salmon come through. I'm clearly not an expert, but I do think that this is kind of proof potentially that fewer humans may just mean more success for nature. But as far as the bears go, Holly is kind of like the fave. She won last year. She's also a fan fave because she previously adopted a cub that was not her own, which is totally unheard of in these in species like this. And they're kind of wondering, she had a cub, so typically that means that she's going to have to put a lot of her resources and her efforts into making sure that the cub is okay, and the cub has food, so she might not have gained as much. My favorite part is that the cub actually is kind of a Cinderella story. She came up, they're saying she grew super huge, and the cutest part of the story is that she actually, I guess, along the way thought that a porcupine was her best friend. So she had to deal with some quills in her paw for a little part of the time and still grew huge. So I don't know, Greg, I'm excited. Your favorite, though he's aging and missing teeth, apparently Otis is exceptional at catching fish. And he has a usual spot, they say, beneath a waterfall, which they call Otis's office. So
I'm a big fan of Otis. I'm a big fan of Otis. Well, that is fantastic. So Fat Bear Week right there. Everybody can follow along and watch it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I know for TBD, we've got, Jess, thank you. And I know for TBD, we've got another segment here that usually it would be Adrian as well, but I understand we've got a special guest who's going to join us here, and that is Mike Solis, who's one of our producers here at Digital Trends. That's the magic behind the scenes, too, what you're looking at right there. So, Jess or Mike, who wants to introduce what the Kick Stop It is here for this week?
I'll take on the Kick Stop It for us this week. And for this week, we have the Arc tent by Exod. And this is like the 2030 tents, you know what I mean? And in reviewing this tent, I caught something in the promo video that I thought was crazy brilliant. So I'm gonna play some of this video for us here. Stand by. Let me just grab it.
So we're doing this live here. This is the first time that we've tried to work this. Mike is normally behind the scenes running things. Okay, so we're taking a look at a promo video. This is for a new tent. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct. So this tent right here is like the tent to own. But if I don't know if you can hear the audio in this, but if you listen to it, there's a message.
Okay.
I can't hear it.
I can't quite hear it.
It's going out.
But what is the message?
Widen the
that they're sending?
scope.
I'll come back for you right now. Hang on.
We are Exit.
Again, live here.
After years of development behind the scenes,
Audio's okay.
it is high
got
time to
it.
reveal our first concept,
Wait for it.
the Ark. A next level shelter
All right, I'm gonna come back for us here.
built for immersion.
So when I was watching this promo video, I thought it was like a little over the top of what they were doing for a tent, but then it dawned on me. The concept of the video is intense, and I thought,
Oh, boy.
that is brilliant. No, like not a pun. There's a pun inside it, but the actual idea of it is it's an intense video, and I figured it out.
I like that. I like that take on it. So taking a look at this.
I like the
so
pun,
this is
personally.
Yeah, the pun is good. The pun may get me on board of this, but taking a look at what this is too, and I'm just pulling it up here for myself. So again, it's the Ark Next Level Shelter. The thing is, this is inflatable. So I mean, yeah,
Right.
okay, that I don't know if that saves you any time really, unless it's self-inflating. But the other thing is, I would puncture it. I don't care what it's made of. I would figure out a way to puncture that thing. And then it just looks like a real pain to set up.
So the idea
And
is it
I
should
know
take
that,
you
like-
only 9 minutes to set up this whole thing. That's if you're using the entire.
I can set up a regular tent in 9 minutes.
Wait, so my
'cause-
question is, so it's also a suspension tent, which I think is really interesting because that could have a lot of, that can help you out a lot if like it's raining, stuff like that. But my question is, does it need to be like in a perfect like setup where you have everything that you need to like suspend it? Like
Right.
what's
I think your limitations are exactly what they would be if you had a hammock. So as long as you could pop up a hammock, you could pop up this tent. But side story to that is if that whole suspension system is separate than the tent, that's a whole different purchase, by the way. So for this,
So okay,
yeah,
well, it's already $929
yeah,
for the
adds
no.
another grand if you want to get the suspension system.
all right. for
That's all I need to
$929 for just the basic tent, let's decide right now, kickstart it or kickstop it. Jess, what do you want?
Greg, I'm going to be kickstopping this. I'm super on board with like an innovative tent experience, but the cost for me just doesn't. I want the suspension if I'm going to do it. You know, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get the whole thing, and that just feels like a little bit too much for me. So that's a kickstop it over here.
I think
Mike, what about you?
kickstop it for sure. Oh, just based on price.
Yeah.
But I think the idea and the concept, like, because this could do more stuff. Like for car camping, this would be amazing.
Yeah.
The concept's great. The price is.
Agreed.
I could buy a motorhome for that price.
I know, right? I'm a hard kickstop it. That is too much money, and I like my traditional poles. I want to be able to put the tent up, know that I'm not going to puncture it. I am kick-stopping that thing all the way. All right, Mike and Jess, I know that we've got one other thing here too, just to wrap this up. And this is something that Adrian, despite being gone, still got us some Charlie Cam.
All right, I'm out.
There he is. You guys are
Oh,
funny.
Charlie.
I
Yep.
will never
Doing some
tire of the water tank. Ever.
No one will ever tire of that. That video
No.
could play on loop for 20 minutes and I would watch it. All right, Charlie Cam right there. Jess, thank you so much. Great job. Mike, thank you for joining as well. And again, that's TBD, so every single Wednesday that we have that here. Okay, we need to wrap up today's show because we had some great guests here today. We're back here every single weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. But coming up in just a little while, we are going to have the Google event. So the Google event, the hardware event, the Pixel 5 showcase is going to be happening. We're going to be broadcasting it live. It'll be myself and Caleb Dennison here providing commentary during it. We'll also have some other editors on talking about whatever it is that Google reveals. So hit subscribe right now and join the show with us. We can all talk about it. We can all comment on it. We can take your comments as we go through. All right, I'm Greg Nibbler. I'll see you right back here tomorrow with more Digital Trends Live.